Hi everyone! Welcome back to This Book Belongs to Pam, and today I have a fun collaboration video for you. I have not filmed a video in a while, and to that note, I also have not read in a while. It's been a very crazy couple of weeks, and I'm still in it. I'm still not 100% back, I suppose, in terms of like content creation, videos, reading, just because a lot of things has happened work-wise, life-wise. My mom's visiting from the States, so I have been obviously spending a lot of time with her because she's only here for like a week and a half. So that has been going on. With that said, I do have the feeling now, the urge to read, especially because I'm working on this fun collab video with my good friend Sash from Sash Reads, and we are essentially giving each other books to read. So I have given Sash 3 books. 2 of those books I love or like, and then one of them I detest, like absolutely detest. And I gave those to her. She doesn't know which is which, and I just hope that she enjoys every single one of them. If you want to see what I picked for Sash, and you want to see her vlog about that, I will leave a link to her channel and to her video down in the description box, so make sure to check it out and subscribe to Sash. She's amazing. She does fun content and she's just a joy. And now I have in my hands a video message from Sash wherein she is giving me my picks. So I wanted to react to the picks and see what my thoughts are, and also initially I wanted to check the books one by one as I finish them, but then I realized that what if I want to mood read a little bit in between my picks. So I'm just gonna watch the entire video, figure out what the 3 picks are. I also don't know which one she likes and which one she doesn't, so hopefully we both end up with books that we actually love. So this is my first time watching this. We are gonna see this reaction live, and hopefully the books that she picked for me I have in my library or in physical form, or I can get them easily on Libby, so I don't have to wait too long. Okay, let us watch the video right now.
Hi Pam, thank you so much for collaborating with me for this month's Two Truths and a Lie book. I'm not quite sure what I'm calling it yet. Anyway, speaking of Pam, here's another Pam. Hey. Anyway, I've got 3 books here. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you which 2 I liked and which one I didn't like. I hope you like all 3. They are all in your to read pile on Storygraph. So let's just get into it. The first pick is The Bone Shard's Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This was actually recommended to me by one of those TBR services. I asked for a high fantasy with like mid-20s lead, and that's what I got. This has a couple different POVs. You've got some queer rap, you have lots of different voices in the POVs. It's this fantasy world. They've got bone shard magic. They have attacks where they take a bone shard out of every kid that's born, and the emperor uses that bone shard to make constructs, and there are these terrifying animal sort of things. One of the main POVs is the emperor's daughter, the bone shard daughter, and she is trying to compete with the heir apparent to become the heir sort of thing, because she grew up thinking she was going to become the emperor, and then her father was like, lol joke, here's another dude, you two compete to become my successor. So that's another aspect. So that's the first pick. The next pick is a thriller, and that is my...
Okay, first reactions. Bone Shard Daughter. I don't remember why I put it in my TBR, but it sounds like a book that I would enjoy. I love a good fantasy book, and I think this is a trilogy, so Sash is really putting me up to the task here, because if I like it then I have to read the rest of the series. So hope I do like it because I am always down for a good fantasy. And Bone Magic is always one of my favorites. I recently read Bonesmith and I absolutely loved and enjoyed that one. That also has like bone magic in it. So I am excited. I don't have a physical copy of this, so I will be borrowing it from the library. Fingers crossed I can find it like, you know, without a very long wait. I know this book has been out for a while and I don't really see it a lot recently, so hopefully it's not as popular right now and I can just borrow it. But yeah, that is the first book. We've got a fantasy, so now let's listen to the second book, which we already know it's a mystery. She just said it. I forgot to pause, so let's see which book it is.
The Wife by Samantha Downing. This used to make the rounds on BookTube. This is a domestic thriller, I think you would call it, about this couple who are serial killers. They kill people together, but then the husband starts noticing things that are a bit off, and you go from there. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Thrillers, you don't really want to go into it knowing too much. And then last but not least, we've got the...
Okay, I keep forgetting to pause. The Lovely Wife, I do have that book, and I did get that book for a specific video idea, but it's fine. I can use it for this one, which is a good thing because I have been procrastinating on that video idea for a while, so maybe it wasn't meant to be. But for now, I will read The Lovely Wife. I do have it. I will get all of the books later and I'll show you. I'm so excited because I have not read a mystery thriller in a while. This is good. I have been wanting to read one, and Sash just gave me the perfect excuse. So that is the second book. The third book is
Boys by Maggie Stivata. So this is a YA, I don't know if you'd call it fantasy. Yeah, maybe. About this girl called Blue, and she's grown up knowing that her kiss is going to kill her true love. Like, first kiss is going to kill her love, I think. And then she meets these 4 boys from the local private school. They call themselves the Raven Boys. And she believes that one of them is going to be her true love. There's a sort of mystery aspect to this book that I think you might like. And yeah, they're all 3 choices are pretty popular. So I hope you like all 3. And I'm very excited to see what you've chosen for me. Once again, thank you so much for collaborating with me. And I hope you enjoy all 3 books.
Okay, so the final book is The Raven Boys, which I am so happy about. I also have that in my physical TBR. It was gifted to me by my partner's sister-in-law, and I'm so excited for it. I don't really know much about it. I tried my best to not really watch anything about The Raven Boys just because it's such a hyped up series and I just want to go in blind. I know there's like a lot of people who love this series, so I am so excited. Let me just grab the books that I have, the 2 books, and we'll officially kick off this video. Hold on. Okay, I am back with the books. Good news, I just checked Libby and Bone Shard Daughter is available, so I now have it on my Kindle. I can read that whenever, you know, I need to go somewhere and I don't want to bring an actual book. And then I have the other 2 books here with me. So My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. So this is a mystery thriller, and I forget when I got this, but I think I got it thrifted. So very excited. It's a pretty thick book. I think it's about 360 or something, almost 400. So pretty thick book, but I am excited. This spine always creeps me out whenever I pass by my shelf and I happen to like look at this part of my shelf. It always creeps me out. But that is My Lovely Wife, Samantha Downing, and then The Raven Boys by Maggie Stivata. So this is the first book in the Raven cycle. So this is quite a short book. It's 403 pages or a little bit more, but the font size, I'm gonna try and go to the middle, is quite huge and it's a tiny book. So I think this will go by so fast. I also know that this is part of like a series. I think there are 4 books and I might have to also purchase the rest of the books if I enjoy this one. So Sash really wants me to get a move on with my series that I have. So that is gonna be the TBR for this video. I don't know which one I'm gonna start reading first. I am leaning towards the Raven Boys, mostly because it is a paperback and it is tiny, so I can actually bring it with me today. I am going out with my friends, but I do need to hang out at like a cafe for a bit. This would be the perfect book to read it, and I think because it's kind of like a fantasy and I believe it has really great characters, I think it's a perfect book to break my reading slump. So yeah, I'm gonna start this video by reading The Raven Cycle or The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Okay, first impressions, I know you can't really see me, but first impressions of the writing style, it's very casual and it's not like dated in my opinion. I think it's very approachable and it's kind of engaging the way it's written, so I am excited for it already and I want to pick a good bookmark, so I'm gonna move to the other room where my bookmarks are and I'm gonna pick one and then I have to leave. I'm already, packing my bag, so it doesn't fit my bag unfortunately, but I'm just gonna bring it by hand and I will have to go to a cafe and meet my friends, so I will see you. So I have been reading The Raven Boys while I was waiting for my friends. Made it to page 49 and I didn't know that there's gonna be Welsh myth, folk tales, history in this book, and I am hooked. I'm really hooked. I'm so excited and this is really reviving me from my reading slump. Hi everyone, it's been days since my last update in this vlog and honestly I am at my wit's end right now. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna finish reading for this video by like Saturday so I can post this on Sunday. Oh, it's now Thursday. We'll see. Anyway, I'm at page 247 of The Raven Boys and I have been reading this book for like weeks now, and it's not because it's not good. I actually quite like it, but rather because life has been very, very chaotic for me. I think I mentioned this a bit in earlier clips. Like, I haven't really been in the mood to do any kind of reading, any kind of filming. I'm slowly getting into it now. I managed to actually read like more than 20 pages last night, which is why I finally made it to more than 50% of the book. I am finishing this tonight. That is my 100% goal. I don't have any other responsibilities tonight, thankfully, so I think I can finish this tonight. Yesterday that was my plan, but it flooded in Metro Manila yesterday. Specifically, our place flooded a lot, so we couldn't really focus on anything. Like we were just, watching the news, checking out, making sure that our family members are safe, our friends are safe. Thankfully, we live in a high rise, so we weren't really affected. We just couldn't get in and out of the building because the roads literally right outside our building is flooded. We were able to get out at around like 9 p.m. and managed to buy some essentials. We ran out of rice. That would have been bad had the rain, not stopped, and would have been stopped for like days without rice. That would have been difficult as Asians. So there's that. Thankfully, the rain has come and gone. A lot of people were affected. There were lots of flooding. It was really bad. The sun was up today. There was no rain at all in my area today, so that's good. People have a chance to recover. But as for reading, I did not do much of that yesterday throughout the day, even though I wasn't busy really, but mentally I wasn't really there. Today is the day I'm gonna finish this book. I am liking it. I think the pacing is what's throwing me off a little bit. It feels a little bit slow. Like, I like how I'm getting to know the boys, getting to know Blue, the whole crew, if you will, but it's just taking a while for the story to progress. I feel like I get the gist of what they're trying to do, of what's the plot, if you will, but for some reason the build-up is just not doing it for me. So I keep getting distracted. I keep putting it down, is what I'm saying. So it's not bad in terms of like the actual plot, the content, because I really am interested. I love Arthurian legend in book, so I am invested, but for some reason I'm just not addicted to it. Maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. But I'll definitely sit down, finish this tonight, and then I'm gonna let you know my thoughts and if I like it or not, and maybe I'll guess as well if this is a book that Sash like or not. And then I'll move on to the next book because I have to move on to the next book. So yeah, Raven Boys, my only agenda for tonight. Oh my gosh, something is being revealed right now and I don't know if I'm thinking about it in the right way. Like, I don't know if I'm understanding it properly, and I'm like, guys, it's Thursday, July 25, 10:45 in the evening, and I finished my first book of the month. I definitely was in a slump, but I'm so glad that I finished this book. I have been reading this on and off for the past month, and my thoughts are that this is the kind of book that I could really enjoy a lot, but I think because of the way that I read it, wherein I read the first 200 pages over the span of 3 weeks, I didn't fully get invested in with the characters, but the overall concept, like the supernatural aspect to this book, I didn't really expect that when I first heard about the Raven Voice. I didn't know that that was the concept of the book. It was definitely something different. I don't think I've read what's it called? It's a fairy lit book. If I Have to Be Haunted, something like that. What was that called? Yeah, If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun. It kind of reminds me a little bit of this, but this one is a lot more interesting. It felt a lot more intricate, and I was certainly intrigued by all of the Arthurian legend that's present in this book. And the ending, I was quite confused. I don't know if it's because I just wasn't as into like the world of the book because of how I read it, but it didn't click to me like what was happening in the ending, but I did kind of get it, and I am curious to read the second book, so I will be continuing the series. Favorite character from the book is definitely Ronan. I love how he's just so like big and large in terms of like personality, and the lines that he has in this book are just so random sometimes that it's so funny. So I really like Ronan. In terms of rating, I think I think I'm gonna give this a 3.25, partially because my fault, because of how I read it, but also because of how slow it did feel. Even though I binged the last 200, a little under 200 pages, it still felt a little bit slow, and I liked the lyrical writing. That the writing was quite like beautiful. It wasn't over the top, it was quite beautiful, but sometimes I think it lacked the action part of the writing. Like, not action in the sense like fight scenes or anything like that, but just like movement, like how people are moving about, what people are doing. I think I wanted to read a little bit more on that as well. So yeah, 3.25, so middle of the road for me. Definitely more towards liking the book. I don't know what Sash has rated this, so let me quickly check. I actually don't know how I'm gonna check. Let me check her Goodreads, because I think she has Goodreads. Yeah, she does have Goodreads. Let's check what she rated this and if I liked it. I think she didn't like this book. I just checked Sasha's rating and I was right. She did not like it. She gave it 2 stars. So I liked it a little bit more than she did. But I was right. I had a feeling. This is, I guess we disagree, sort of. Like, I gave it 3.25. It wasn't like a 5-star read, but yeah, that is the first book for this challenge collab that we're doing that I am very, very, very delayed on. So now I am gonna get the second book and we can start reading it. I'm gonna be picking The Lovely Wife because I think I need a mystery thriller to really keep the momentum going. I need something fast, and that's what mystery thriller books are for. So I'm gonna get it from my library. Sasha's next book for me is The Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. So I'm gonna start this tonight because I need to keep up with this momentum and beat this reading slump in the last 5 days of July. So yeah, My Lovely Wife, Samantha Downing. Hi everyone, good morning. It's 10:14, still morning. I didn't read too much of My Lovely Wife. Yeah, My Lovely Wife last night. I got up to page 8, which is the end of the first chapter, but I must say I quite liked that first chapter. It really, made me question a lot of things, and I'm curious now. I don't know who the character is really, but I want to know why he's doing what he's doing. So yeah, that really made me curious. So I am excited to read again, but I do have a lot of work today. Well, not really a lot. I did a lot of work yesterday, so I don't have too much today, but I do have a meeting and I have a couple of things I need to submit. I'm a UI UX designer, digital designer in my job, so I have some deliverables that I need to submit. So I'm gonna focus on that first so I can finish work early, and then after my midday meeting, I'm just gonna read. That's the plan for today. I have my coffee with me. I'm not gonna reach over because it's kind of far, but yeah, that is the plan, and I will check back in once I'm actually reading. Okay, so I am filming with a GoPro, so hopefully the audio is okay. I'm at page 38 of My Lovely Wife, so I'm not super far along, but it has been quite a ride already. I am very intrigued by what is happening, everything that I don't know, every crumb that has been dropped in front of me. I am eating it all up, and I like the storytelling style. I like how small details like crumbs are being dangled in front of us, and it's kind of up to us to piece things together, and we get those crumbs through this kind of like stream of consciousness narrative of the husband. So I don't know if we're gonna change POVs at some point, but right now we're following the husband for the first, I don't know, 4 chapters, 5 chapters. Really like interesting how the story is being set up, and we find out very early on that there's something wrong with this couple, like they're doing some shady shit, and a news comes out in about like 20 pages in that kind of upends a little bit their life. They get kind of like a blast from the past, and now once that news came out, I'm trying to not spoil anything, but once that news came out, the husband is now starting to get scared of his wife, and we don't really know why, because we don't know exactly what they did. We kind of get a feeling for what they did, but we don't know exactly what they did, why they did it, and I guess when they started or whatever. But yeah, I'm very intrigued. I am planning to just sit in this spot and read as much as I can. At the very least, I want to get to halfway before I even consider stopping, and halfway is 150 or 180 pages. So if I could get to page 180 from page 38, that would be stellar. What if I just read this book tonight, like from start to finish? Okay, it is 11:51 p.m. I'm still in Gavin's sprints. I think he's gonna be doing like a very long sprint session, which is just what I needed. I'm at page 153, so not quite the halfway mark, but almost there, almost halfway. And this is such an odd mystery thriller. It feels like it's not even thrilling, but I am very much intrigued by what's happening. It feels very much like a slice of life account of this very normal middle class, upper middle class family, except that they have a very illegal and evil hobby as a couple. That's what it feels like. Like, it reads like that. So far, you don't really get gory details about what they're doing. It's like it's leading up there, but it doesn't go there. And I don't know if that's gonna change later on, but it has been like that. And it's mostly about their family life, their money troubles, their parenting, their kids, their community. It circles around the bad thing that they're doing, but it never really goes deep into it. And it's just an interesting way of framing a mystery thriller. So yeah, I will still continue reading this. I am still gonna try and finish it. I have about 210 pages left. That usually takes me around 210 minutes. I will try. I will try to really read while Gavin has his sprints on, because it's really motivating me. So yeah, hopefully I finish this today, and then I have one more book after this, and that's fantasy, and I think it's pretty long. So I don't know. We'll see if I can actually finish, but we'll try. Hi everyone, good morning. Last night while watching Gavin's reading sprints, I finished reading My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I powered through this one. Like, I started really reading it yesterday morning, and then I finished it at around 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I think. So I definitely did my best in reading this one, so I'm really proud of myself, especially after my 3-week, almost 4-week long hiatus from really reading properly. So I'm glad that I was able to finish this book, and I really quite enjoyed it. I think it was such a different kind of thriller. It wasn't the type where the focus is on like the details of the bad thing that they did. Okay, murder. Okay, it's murder. You kind of know this. So it wasn't really much about that, the details of how the murder happened or took place, but it was about all the things around it, like the people that are affected by it, how the husband and wife are both affected and complicit with this thing, and just that whole life around the actual crime itself is what this book focused on, and I found it really intriguing and I was really hooked by it. I wouldn't say that I couldn't put it down. I think because of the format where you have this main character POV, you have the husband POV only, and it's just essentially a stream of consciousness narrating everything that he's thinking, feeling, his memories, the things he has done in the past. Like sometimes it does get quite tiring to read because of that, but overall I really enjoyed it. And the ending itself, while it was a little bit anticlimactic, I think, like the way everything was resolved, but I think it kind of fit in with the vibe of the entire book. I don't think a very action-packed, like intense, super suspenseful, super exciting ending would have fit the book. I think it would have felt out of place with the rest of the book, because this one is such a quiet kind of thriller. Like, it's suspense, yes, for sure, but it's very subtle and very quiet about it, and I actually really enjoyed that. So I'm very pleased with this pick. I'm so glad that Sash has selected this for me. I've had this in my TBR for a while. This has been recommended to me by Pam from Pam Shenanigans as well, and I've borrowed it multiple times from the library, had it like expire multiple times as well. So now I finally read it and I really enjoyed it. So I think I'm gonna give this one 4.25 stars. I know, I was actually surprised myself that even with how subtle it was, like it wasn't so surprising, so intense, but I still really quite enjoyed it, and I think I liked that it was quite different. But yeah, that was My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. Let's check what Sash has rated this book. I'm on Sash's Goodreads. Let's look for My Lovely Wife. 4 stars. Yeah, so we kind of feel the same way, or at least we both gave it 4-ish stars. So I am happy about that. So I guess we kind of have a little bit similar taste. Maybe I'm a little bit more forgiving when it comes to my star giving. I'm a little bit more generous. But yeah, 4 stars for My Lovely Wife. So yeah, that's so good. I'm so excited now for the last book. I have that on my Kindle and I'm gonna start reading that today. I'm gonna start reading The Bone Shard Daughter, and I'll update you once I've read a bit more of it. Okay, first update for The Bone Shard Daughter. I made it to page 42, which is 8%, and it's 2:21 p.m. I'm in trouble, but anyway, so in this book, it's set into this kind of the usual fantasy type world, but it seems like there's a lot to do, obviously with bones, but also with the sea. Like, I think it's like there's a main island, there's a lot of like smaller islands, and in the first chapter we are following the Emperor's heir. So it's the Emperor's daughter, and something has happened to her and she cannot remember certain memories past 5 years ago. I don't know exactly, but what she did in the first chapter was she is trying to earn his father's favor. She's trying to steal a key from his father and duplicating the key, and I don't know what that key is for, but briefly we got a look into like what the bone shard constructs are, or bone constructs, I don't know what it's called yet, what they do and how they function very briefly, and also like the unrest that's happening all over their country, territory, or whatever. Like there seems to be like a set of people that are rebelling against the emperor because the emperor has this thing called tithing ceremony, which is basically every single child at age 8 are collected, kind of like Hunger Games, and then they take a bone from behind their ear to fill up the emperor's like bone coffers. I don't know, for the constructs, I think. It's very painful, very inhumane, obviously, so there are like people rebelling against that. And then in the second chapter, like second to the third chapter, actually, we're following this guy named Jovis, and he is, so the emperor's daughter's name is Lynn, and now we're following Jovis. He is a smuggler, and he has been touted as like the best smuggler, and he's in this island called the Deerhead Island, and the tithing ceremony festival is happening on that island right now, so they're collecting all the children. He's in Deerhead Island for this investigation that he is doing of like missing women, but he talks to someone and got roped into trying to smuggle out a child so that the child didn't have to go to the tithing festival. But then something happens, like a couple of earthquakes happen, which was okay, fine, earthquake, but then the island starts sinking. So he and the kid that he was going to smuggle out, they ran and tried to get out of it, made it to his boat, and now they're speeding away, and when they look back, the island has completely like sunken and they don't know what caused it, and it hasn't happened in the history. So that's sort of like the setting. It's very much a lot of action-packed chapters that kind of give you bits and pieces of the world, but it's definitely a lot to take in. You definitely have to pay attention, so that's why I think I'm reading it quite slowly. I'm also catching up on BookTube, and I mentioned earlier that I don't have plans for today, but that's actually false. In about 35 minutes from now, Japan's first game in the Paris Olympics is starting, so I'm gonna be watching that because I'm supporting Team Japan. Team Philippines didn't make it to the Olympics, so I'm Team Japan for now. I won't be able to read while watching volleyball, so I'm gonna have to like read what I can in the next 35 minutes and then watch volleyball and then try my best to read more. We're going to the hospital later to visit family, and I'll probably be able to read then because really there's nothing you can do at a hospital. So we'll see how much I can finish today. I'm really hoping I could get to like a good chunk of this book, maybe over 50%. Also, can I just say, the constructs in this book, I fully thought that they would be like bone, like made of bone, essentially like skeletons walking around, but no, they're not, and they're a lot more gruesome like that. They're kind of like a mix of different body parts of different living beings. Like there's a construct that's part of like the, what they call it, construct of spies, so essentially their job is to spy for the emperor. This is a description of one of the constructs. The construct looked like nothing so much as a giant spider, dark brown and glistening, as tall as my chest when it stood to attention. Human hands were attached to the end of each of its spindly legs, and an old woman's face adorned the abdomen. It's kind of disgusting.
9 places below
Go!
them. That would be some
Okay.
order. Here comes Kurza.
Come on. Ah!
Take that.
I finally did it. I finally finished The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I finished it yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, kind of skimmed it. After the 50-55% mark, I started skimming just because the writing style was really not what I wanted it to be. Like, I like fantasy books in general. I really like how the world building happened in this one, like the concepts for the world, the political landscape, the different types of, I guess, magic that exist. But there's something about the writing that's just not working for me. I think it's overly descriptive to the detriment of the narrative. I thought it was quite repetitive. Like, there was this one line where this character keeps saying, "I am Lin, I am the Emperor's daughter, and I will learn all of his blah 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 blah." She keeps repeating that line every single time she has to do something, I guess, difficult or something that she's never done. And I guess it's like trying to emphasize that she has this, confidence and whatever, but it's just very repetitive. And then everything is just way too overwritten. Like the descriptions were a bit too long and it didn't really add anything to the narrative, and I just found myself really, really bored. Every time I would stop reading it, I would find it hard to pick back up. And while I'm reading it, I'm constantly distracted, which is such a shame because I really do like the overall story beats. Like, I like the concept of the constructs, the concept of this islands that are moving, and you know, occasionally islands are closer to each other, or even this whole concept of shard magic. I really like that. The plot twist at the end was quite good, although at that point I was already skimming, so it didn't really hit as hard, and that's on me. But I think we could have condensed this book. It's 480 something pages. It could have been like 400 pages. I was thinking initially of like a 3.5 because of those elements, but really with the amount of time that I spent on this book and the amount of willpower I had to push through just to read it, I think that just deducts a star. So I'm probably gonna say that this is 2.75 for me, which surprisingly I think is the lowest rating. Sash just sent me her video of her ratings. I did check her ratings for the other two books, but I would love to like hear her thoughts on the specific book. So my rating before I watch her video, so for me at the lowest is The Bone Shard Daughter at 2.75, and then The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater at 3.25 stars, and my favorite out of these three books that I read is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Dowding, which I gave 4.25 stars. Now let's check what Sash gave these books. She also cut her hair. It looks really good on her.
Hi Pam, don't watch this video until you finished all three choices, but I thought I would give you my ratings and vibes for the books that I gave you. First of all, we'll start with my 5-star book, The Bone Shard Daughter. Like, at the time when I read this book, it was such a...
The Bone Shard Daughter is her 5-star book, and that's my book that I gave the lowest star rating to. I kind of feel bad, but I really think it's just the writing style. Like, the world itself, the magic, I was really intrigued, and the plot twist was so good, but the writing style just didn't really mesh well with me. I'm hoping, obviously, I'm still gonna continue reading the series, but I'm just hoping that I like the writing much better. Maybe it's also like the pressure of having to finish that book and just coming off of a slump. I don't know, but it's just so funny that it's her 5-star book and it's my lowest.
New concept to me for having like high fantasy, but with not just some old dudes or just some teenagers. I'm like, I want someone like me. So I really enjoyed the characters in this book and just the story, and especially the little animal companion. I thought that was the cutest little thing in the world. I'm sorry this does end on a cliffhanger.
I don't know. Like, obviously, Mephi's physical description has been described in the book, but for some reason I cannot shake off the image of Momo from Avatar: The Last Airbender as Mephi. So in my head, that is the canon.
I still haven't read the second one, so if you did enjoy the first book, maybe we can buddy read the second one if that's what you want to do. But yeah, that was 5 stars. I always recommend it to people, so I'm glad that I could get you to read it, and I hope that you like it. If not, like, I do know high fantasy isn't people's vibes all the time, so. And then my other 5-star read was My Lovely Wife by Samantha.
I kind of expected it, yeah.
This is another book that I thought was so well done. Just all the vibes of this book, but also like the what the fuck moments. Like, I was what the fucking the whole time. So it's a really fun, I believe it's fast paced, but if you don't like it, that's okay too. We're still friends, okay? And I haven't read anything else by this author, but I feel like this definitely was a great debut. And then that means I did not like The Raven Boys. I read this a long time ago now, and I didn't like it back then, so I don't think I'd like it now. I think I just couldn't grasp anything, what was going on. I know they're all YA, but I really felt like they're all very immature, and I really don't think I could connect with Blue. She was so annoying. So I know this is a very beloved series, but hopefully you enjoyed it too, because like I said, yeah, it's beloved, so I think I am one of the only people who doesn't like it. This one was a 2-star read, and I'll never try it again, and I'm definitely not going to continue the series. Those are my ratings and thoughts and feels of the books that I got you to read. Hopefully you did enjoy all 3. I can't wait to watch your video. I see you soon. I don't know.
Thank you, Sash. And I kind of expected that she would love Bone Shard Daughter because I did check her ratings for The Raven Boys. But yeah, it was so interesting that I think I really just read Bone Shard Daughter at a bad time, and it affected how interested I was in the series. But we definitely agree on My Lovely Wife. This was really good. Definitely one of the thrillers that I will be recommending to people. This is our favorite. And then for me, coming at second place is The Raven Boys, and lastly Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. So thank you for collaborating with me, Sash, on this video. I hope you also enjoyed the books that I sent you. If you want to watch Sash's vlog on the books that I recommended to her, please check the link in my description box. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Baby